This story out of Walt Disney World. MJ, I gotta ask you, what is going on with Walt Disney World and maintenance? I don't like to see this. The bees on the facade of the Little Mermaid. That being the new Fantasyland attraction that opened with that land.
Bees,
yes.
my God.
I can
The
see her
bees.
singing those, what do you call them, anaphylactic shock?
It's not so good. But look, this is a very dangerous situation. I am surprised that nobody saw this when it was actually forming. And now we have this particularly dangerous issue to work with, especially in, the vicinity of children.
Star Wars and call it a hive of scum and villainy.
The bees. The bees jokes.
Not the
They are
bees.
very funny.
Bee picture.
Not the bees. But this just follows a long line of kind of maintenance issues. And this includes both ghosts, unfortunately. We obviously know the light pole incident, which you had a huge lighting rig actually fall into guest walkways, unfortunately sending somebody to the hospital. That's no good. You had the speaker pole situation at Disneyland where you had a rotted pole. It fell over as well. It bent that gate, by the way, which is extraordinary. And Epcot, you have a couple of sewage leaks. One of those being collapsing ceilings and so forth. And at Magic Kingdom, you have sewage leaks over there as well. I can go on.
The base of the Torii Gate at DCA, for Tokyo.
San Francisco?
San Francisco, yes. You can get Sokio'd. Oh, can you get Sokio'd? But, look, all of those bees didn't show up overnight.
Correct.
Exactly.
It's been like that for a long time before it got this bad. And everybody shrugged and said, well, I don't know, it's not my job. Is it your job? Is it maybe?
Did you get a chance to keep those photos I sent you, Vash, a few weeks ago? It was in front of the Magic Kingdom, the castle. There's the railings that are all rusted. I sent you those pictures.
Yes, you did. You did actually send me those pictures. And let me see if I can bring those up, actually, because
and
I
there
actually
was a time when they did proactive maintenance. I remember one time being at Epcot, and they were replacing the handrails in Japan, around the building that the restaurant's in. And I was fascinated how they did it, because it was PVC pipe that they then layered on with a kind of a patterned gizmo, this putty that made it look like wood grain on the outside. And it was in a day. Or I watched when they were building Norway, the copper cupola, and they paint it with a substance that makes it age instantly as if it had been there for 100 years and go all green.
Once upon a time, Ghost. Once upon a time, everything was it was like weekly. You would go. We just, like I told you guys on the last show, we were there for Labor Day weekend, and my daughters have been visiting the property since they were born. And they were like, Mom, why is it so dirty? I've never seen the Magic this dirty. And they were like, we don't remember it. I mean, it was just really bad. That's in front of the castle, guys. You know that little reserved area that you have to pay extra to stand in to see the fireworks? That's that right there. That should not be like that. That's years of corrosion. Years.
This is in the most attended theme park in the world, and one of the most photographed spots ever in the form of the castle, right? You have more Instagram and TikTok reels and everything filmed there than you just about anywhere else. And so, again, I worry about these maintenance issues. I worry about these things where they're going to take capital expenditure in order to fix and maintain. We see a lot of CapEx being used with the various walls and what Animal Kingdom and Disney Hollywood Studios and in the Magic Kingdom now with the Rivers of America being removed and so forth. But if you can't maintain what you have, how do we put your faith in what's coming?
Between this and the guest brawls and lack of security on that score, I know that there's downsides to going to theme parks. And those downsides for me have always been crowds and lines and heat and traffic, but not danger, actual physical danger. Because, it's one thing on Circle Vision to say, please do not sit on the rails. They were not designed to support your weight. It's another thing for somebody to watch the fireworks and go through a rusty rail and cut themselves. This is just wrong.
And you know what? Well, that photo where the beehive is, that's in the Little Mermaid attraction area. There's also the meet and greet with Ariel. So how many children and families are standing in line? And nowadays, a lot of kids are allergic. A lot of people are allergic. So you're going to you're gonna get stung while you're waiting to meet Ariel. Like, what are you? This
Yeah,
like,
look.
yeah, this is insane.
Exactly. I mean, if this was in another area of Walt Disney World that wasn't so kid-centric, maybe whatever. I still wouldn't give it a pass, but at least a little bit better.
When the first bee shows up, somebody should notice, call a beekeeper, get it taken care of.
Absolutely.
But somebody
They
said
have their own beekeepers right there on property, or they did. I don't know anymore because now that they're not having the gingerbread house this year at the Grand Floridian, what's going on with the bees I have on the land? Did that go away?
I don't know.
Interesting.
But all I'm saying is somebody said, well, we'll deal with it next week, next month, next year. It's not my job. I'll report it. And somewhere, someplace, a conscientious, good, hardworking, dedicated cast member passed this up the line, at which point it got put in the trash and forgotten. As I'm always saying, of all the parts that are going, the million parts or whatever that go into your car, the most important is the nut that holds the wheel. And when the people on the top don't care, not only is it dangerous, not only is it wrong, not only is it expensive in the long run, but that attitude translates down through the ranks.
Yep.
Indeed. Absolutely. Nolan, I'll go ahead and give the last word to you. I look at maintenance issues like this, and it's very troubling indeed for the reasons that Lou actually points out here. And I do wonder about, okay, if you're going to have railings go south on you, especially ones that are so highly frequented, if you're going to have bees develop in various places where, it's right under their noses, if you're going to have collapsing ceilings and so forth, I do wonder about those attractions. I do wonder about those rides. Should anybody be concerned? How can we reverse course on this, I guess? Nolan, your extended thoughts, please.
Oh, absolutely. There's a lot of debate to be had about, what kind of things should a theme park be seen as, accountable for on the amount of maintenance that goes into the park. Some people will walk in a park, they'll see a minor scratch on something and they'll be like, worst trip ever, I spent too much money. Then on the flip side, you have where you're just trying to have a nice day going to Soarin', and then a piece of wood off the ceiling comes falling down near you and stuff, and that's completely unacceptable. You should never have to worry about safety anytime you're going to a theme park, at least without, logical reason. Because anytime you step out of your front door, you do put yourself at risk. That's just how life works. But the reality is, when you see these events piling up time and time again, it starts exposing that there might be a bigger issue looming here, and that guest safety might not be as prioritized when it comes to the budget book. In regards to how are you going to fix this issue, it just comes back to allocation. Money needs to be thrown at safety over everything else, because not only is safety incidents like of someone possibly like a life or an injury a tragedy, but it can kill a theme park brand. If that becomes your legacy, no one's going to go to your parks anymore, or at least not enough coming to where, you're going to be able to keep yourself afloat. Lawsuits can happen, and we've seen terrible controversies happen before with, say, Action Park, the water park, that unfortunately a lot of people lost their lives there. They need to, at the end of the day, the focus at Disney needs to not even be, there should be a focus on a lot of things, but the number one priority isn't happiness, it isn't magic, it's not money, it is safety. So wherever you can in the budget, if, certain things, like, hey, maybe the paint is due on an attraction. Well, hey, maybe you need to wait a few months on that, because we need to focus on, hey, we need to keep that ceiling from falling in on somebody, because, it could be a kid or any person, any person who that thing falls on, that's not a good thing. So it just comes down to make sure your financials are going to the right things, because at a park like Disney World, they make money. And if you have to take some of the money away from maybe your movie studio or your cruise line that might have been using it for their next shiny object, well, it's going to have to wait, because guest safety comes first.
Let's put it this way. That lovely roller coaster we saw earlier on that hill in Hollywood, you better believe they're not going to let that rust this way.
That's a very good point, Lou. Very good point.
Well said.
Indeed. The mom with the 199, Vash, don't worry about the bees. Park's empty.
The bad news is we have dangers. The good news is there's nobody there to experience them. So
that's a fair.
What if
they
gave
point.
A dangerous theme park and nobody came?
Is it dangerous anymore? Is the question.
Yeah. What is the sound of one rail snapping?
It's pretty good. Pretty good stuff right there. Very much appreciate that.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.